mean, last couple of years, horror has been doing well, but I think
I mean,
it
big
helps.
franchise, isn't it?
It probably helps. Yeah, big franchise. The name, it's the name, isn't it? And I think it helps to bring it back to the name rather than let's try and be a bit quirky and do something. We'll call it Jigsaw, and then was it Spiral from the Book of Saw? Like that. That's a very tropey thing. Like just keep it to what people know and like. You know, it's not gonna. I think they were very successful. I think budget wise, box office wise. Obviously, you know, they got one out nearly every year, didn't they? So
yeah, I mean, because it's a prequel of sorts as well. That'll be helping. Just because it's going, you know what I mean. It's not like another convoluted reason as to why this is happening again or whatever. It's bringing it back to sort of earlier in the story, earlier in the saga.
Prequel. It's a sequel prequel.
Well, whatever.
Oh
it
my
is,
god,
you know what
it's
I mean?
so dumb, so dumb.
The DLC for it.
It is. The horse armor will come next. So no, the next Saw film will be Saw 11, but it will be set between Saw 4 and 5 or something. They're filling in all the gaps.
They're filling in the gaps.
Yeah, they're Star Wars in it.
The 0.5s.
They are Star Wars in it, like how Rogue One was filling in the gap.
Yeah.
Did you see
over Star Wars? I'm so over it. Over it for a long time.
Yeah. As I always say, Star Wars creatively bankrupt. Fully creatively bankrupt. It is the case.
I tried the Obi-Wan show and I tried the Boba Fett one, and it's just like,
it's a case of remember this. Do you remember this character? Do you remember? I remember this. Do you remember lightsabers? I remember lightsabers.
Another 10 years we'll have everybody, like from the fucking smallest droid on the Death Star down to
their backstories.
Whoever from the cantina, just like absolutely everybody will have a series or a spin-off. It's just God damn it.
It's catchy. It is catchy. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, to be fair, a lot of horror franchises go that way as well. We talk about Saw, but creatively bankrupt. You look at Halloween. Have you seen the news about Halloween?
No.
You know obviously how the latest trilogy was meant to be the end. It's the end of Michael Myers.
Okay.
Oh no, the rights are now up in the air. They're on the auction house table, ready to be sold again instantly for new content, either looking at A24 or Miramax. But I think it's speculation. I might be wrong. It might be rumors or speculation that whoever I think it wants to go back to what Halloween 3 onwards was going to be, you know, different installments, different stories.
Okay.
And I hope that's the way. But the problem is, much like we talked about the name with Saw, people know the name. People know Michael Myers. They go to Halloween, you see it, fucking Michael Myers.
I mean, that's exactly why they abandoned Halloween 3, the concept of what Halloween 3 was going to be, with you know, it being an anthology thing under the title. So yeah, I mean, that was confusing enough after 2 films with Michael Myers. So they can't do that now. Call it something else. You know what I mean?
The day after Halloween.
Yeah, there isn't like a Boxing Day for Halloween, is there?
No, it's just November 1st. Just November 1st, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Is November 1st a holiday? Let's have a look.
I mean, I don't think it's not like a public holiday, but whether it's got like some random saint feast day attached to it or something.
It's National Cinnamon Day.
Cinnamon Day, okay.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Well, hang on a minute. It's All Hallows Day, isn't it? Because isn't Halloween All Hallows Eve?
Of course, yes, 1st of November. Wow, this is a solid
it's the
horror
eve
podcast.
of the West. Yeah, it's All Saints Day, isn't it? It's Halloween is All Hallows Eve, and then it's All Saints Day.
Thank God you're here for confirming a horror-based fact.
There we go. So they could call it All Hallows Day or All Saints Day.
Oh, spooky. Well, on that bombshell of a fact, I guess it's welcome back to the Dreadcast, folks. Episode 56. Six. If you'd have given me a chance to say it, God.
Sorry.
Episode 56. Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Tom. Lovely co-host Aidan over there.
Hi.
We're back on form. We're back on schedule with today's episode in our Monsters Universal series.
Yay.
Which, looking forward to talking about this one, actually. Quite looking forward to it. And regardless...
It seems like it's a long time since we did a monster. Universal monster. It feels like ages ago we did.
I was thinking that, yeah. And even though we were planning to do it once a month, which is what, every 4 weeks, we had the break in September. So, yeah, it would have been... What, we're talking maybe nearly a month and a half? Yeah, the Mummy feels a lifetime ago. But I still instantly now could say this was better. But we'll get into that in a minute. We'll get into that in a bit. And this is better and will be a more positive talk than last week's episode.
With that, the best Texas Chainsaw, Chainsaw Massacre movie.
It's better than Netflix's installment, and I changed my opinion on 3 being better than 4.
Okay.
It's also better than Leatherface. By the way, seeing as we'll get into the preamble, we'll get our Texas Chainsaw. We've already got it. We've already got it out of the way.
Yeah.
You said you were all going through them, actually.
Yeah, we haven't got. I think 4 put a spanner in the works for our enthusiasm. Because we did watch we watched the remake. And that is where we've stalled again because we just haven't really had time to sit and watch movies just lately. So yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
We are behind a little bit.
So you've got the beginning next whenever you get around to it. Yeah, that was it, and then Chainsaw 3D, Leatherface, and then whatever. Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, but,
Netflix.
Yeah, I would still always say Leatherface, the second attempt at a prequel, is the worst installment out of the franchise. So look forward to that. So episode 56. Welcome everyone out there in internet land. I do apologize. I keep forgetting that we recorded a Thanksgiving trailer breakdown. It's still sitting in my.
Oh God, I forgot we'd done.
Yeah,
that.
I'll get it edited before Thanksgiving at least.
I mean, you've got plenty of time.
Matt, that was a
God,
mess.
We really are fantastically well organised, aren't we?
That was a mess, that recording anyway. But I'll get it up. It'll be up soon, I promise. Probably actually around the time this comes out or just after. So stay tuned for that. But yes, a couple of things to just get into before we get into today's feature film, being entry number 4 in Monsters Universal, The Invisible Man, 1933. I tried to look for the Crimes wine. 19 Crimes? 11 Crimes? Was it 19?
Oh yeah, the 19 Crimes wine.
That is nope, not happening. That is not you cannot get that anywhere in England. The specifically the horror one.
The horror one.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone out there listens and has any sources or a little backstreet dealer of this wine, please hit us up. I will travel, let's say, maximum of 5 miles to get it, maybe 6. But hit us up in the mailbag and let us know if we can get it. You having a look yourself there, sir?
I'm just having another Google about it. Yeah, I mean Sainsbury's have one called 19 Crimes: The Uprising, which has a spooky skeleton on the label. It's not quite the same as the Dracula one, but it is a vaguely horror related edition. But it's not the Dracula ones.
Does it glow in the dark? like the
It does.
Dracula. Oh, well, then there we go.
It does glow in the dark.
I genuinely was trying to get it for today's episode. I wanted to do a taste test on the episode.
Oh, I mean, that'd have been good. To be honest, I completely forgot all about it. So, been absolutely scatterbrained just lately.
It's been 83 years.
Oh, my days, it feels like it.
That is actually a reference to today's episode.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, 84 years. Sorry, folks. I got my meme wrong. 84 years. Anyway, yes, I don't think that wine is available, but yeah, if anyone has any idea, hit us up. You still
you can get it from their website for $18 apparently, but it doesn't say anything about any UK. But yeah, it'd be cool to find it. Maybe we might get it a little later, or a little closer to Halloween, perhaps.
At one point on this podcast, we will drink horror wine.
We will drink horror wine.
We will drink, and it will be amazing, and everyone will have a good time. Yeah,
it will be. There should be more horror-related booze.
There should be, really, shouldn't there?
Yeah, I feel like that's a little niche in the market.
What about horror-related, specifically horror movie-related alcohol puns?
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Have a think on that for next time, maybe.
I will.
There's your homework. I want... This is... Oh God, now I'm thinking more old TV shows. There was an old sketch show called Big Train with Simon Pegg.
Oh, yeah. I remember Big Train.
And he was he was one sketch where he was a radio DJ and he was running out of puns. Went down to the basement with a baseball bat. He's got all these kids on typewriters. So I want more Batman puns. I want them now. Right. I want 5 horror movie alcohol puns next week, sir. I want 5. I want 5.
I'll do my best. I'll make a note of it.
Can you just divulge me for a second so I got the word right again? Bloody hot in here. Hang on.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
okay.
Much better.
So, what's been happening in the world of horror, Tom? Do we have any news? Do you have any news?
I mean, just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit of news. Depends what screen you're personally looking at, but I mean, I know what screen I'm looking at. As he just looks around, he still has no idea. He has no clue. He has no clue what's going on right now.
Excellent. You've been to Primark. Sorry, I do have another window open. I can just see you. I can see you from the chin up, but not from the chin down.
There we go. Let me move the mic.
Oh, look at that!
Isn't that beautiful?
That is a thing of beauty.
And look what's on the arm. Look at. Hang on. I don't know if I can. There's a claw. Isn't that exciting?
Nice.
Isn't that scary, folks?
That is brilliant.
For the audio listeners, would you mind explaining what's going on?
Well, if you remember a couple of episodes back, was it? I feel like it was a couple of episodes back. We discussed Primark's latest collaboration. Tom is throwing some modelling poses out now. He's been to Primark and he's only gone and got himself a Freddy vs. Jason hoodie. Is it a hoodie or is it just a sweatshirt? I can see the Primark bag in the corner of the room now, yeah.
This is just a sweater for you American folks out there.
Just a jumper.
I thought there was something on the back. It's just the arm.
There is nothing on the back, no.
It's
it looks quite cozy. It's Primark, isn't it?
It's something. For one thing, the tag is still on because I am very poor and it will be returned. It was just bought. It was bought for the bit. It was just bought for the bit. So.
Oh, excellent! Even better.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wouldn't last more than a couple of washes anyway. Primark stuff.
Do you know? I've been holding off
in the wild.
I bought this Tuesday, and I've been holding off messaging you. Look what I got! Look what I got! I had to save it.
Very good, very good. I did see them in the wild, and I was less than impressed. I must admit. When I first heard about them, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll go and have a look." But if only they'd have done Valentine.
Just click buy on your Amazon cart, man. Just do it. Just commit, and you'll be fine. You know.
I will one of these days.
I just want to know the backstory behind this. Why this exists?
This confuses me more than the Greg's crossover.
Yeah, I mean that's a cheesy British, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Greg's, apart from when you're American and there's a TikTok that said go to GR Eggs. But yeah, everyone knows Greg's. But Freddy versus a 20-year-old, not great horror movie.
I mean, that's it. It's not even like it's a cult classic. Well, is it a cult classic? It's not. It wasn't. It wasn't doing numbers, was it? Let's be honest.
No,
it was.
No.
I mean, I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. I like it, but it's not. It was the last movie you'd expect to see.
Yeah. No.
Cropping up.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. Do you reckon they've got a big market for these? Do you think they're selling a lot?
No,
I don't think.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, you're the only person today that I know that has bought one. I probably do know more people that own some of the Greg's merch.
Yes, same.
Especially
the socks. I think I've seen people owning the Greg's socks and things like that. This I will be taking a nice little modeling picture. This will be up on the Instagram and Twitter, which is at @the_Dreadcast, where you can see this fly style that I am modeling right now. My Freddy vs. Jason Primark hoodie. So do go check those social medias out. Got those social medias out the way. That's done. Good. Out the way.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's about my horror news at the moment. I did see some bits popping up about Exorcist Believer, like some new images and news, but I'm really trying to steer clear because...
Yeah, same. I've not looked.
It's not one I've been that hyped about, and I want to go into it blind to really get an honest impression about it, rather than reading into it and disappointing myself.
I think that's fair. And I'm I'm pretty much with you on that. No, I don't have much either, but Arrow Video did a little teaser the other day. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. They posted some little legs. That's exactly what they did. And yes, new announcements are coming. So join us. The announcement's going to be tomorrow, September 29th, as we're recording on the Thursday. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. BST, 7 a.m. PT, 10 a.m. ET. For our December new title reveals. But yes, there is a shot of some little legs. It's almost certainly Chucky.
It's got to be.
So there's going to be a new. That's a really grainy footage.
I do hope whatever they will. I assume it's going to be like a 4K release or collector's edition. But God, I hope it's good, because apparently the Psycho one isn't that they've added some things to it, and I've seen some screenshots and it doesn't look well done. I don't know I know that doesn't sound very descriptive, but it doesn't seem as high quality of a production of a restoration as I would have imagined.
Okay.
But that is just some screenshots and people on the interwebs. So
I'm on the Arrow website now. It doesn't look too bad. I quite like the artwork for it.
Is that for the Psycho one?
Yeah.
Well, it's on my list. I want to get it eventually. There's a lot more popping up. Like there's another Return of the Living Dead coming soon from Arrow as well, I believe. We've got The Exorcist 50th anniversary that comes out soon.
Yeah.
Is out. Yeah, they're really popping off with a lot of 4K restorations in horror. Really nice for collection purposes.
Yeah, well, and I guess a bunch of new announcements. It does say announcements plural. So, although the teaser shot is almost certainly something Child's Play related, like you said, probably a box set.
Yeah.
That it does suggest that new title reveals that there's going to be more than just that. So that's cool.
Yeah, not much else. I think what we were talking about before the podcast started about Saw being the next big deal, really, in horror. Coming out tomorrow. Both looking. Would you say looking forward to it? I'm intrigued. But I wouldn't say looking forward. I'm not excited. I'm very intrigued to see if it's good.
Yeah, I think we've said before. I'm not hugely bothered about the franchise. You know, I'll go and see it. That trailer was laughable. I've got to say.
Oh yeah.
Just with the insane choices of songs and such.
What was the song?
I can't remember but it was massively out of place. Whatever it was. Was it Led Zeppelin? I feel like it was Led Zeppelin.
It was something that would be on a bank advert.
But it was bizarre. Yeah, no, I'm not hugely looking. I'm probably looking forward to The Exorcist more than Saw, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll see it. We'll go and watch it. And obviously, stay tuned for a future podcast episode on that one.
Ah, good segue. Speaking of which, it is the... I'm not going to say spoopy. We're better than that.
No,
we're better than that. Well, we're somewhat adult.
Masquerading.
We're masquerading.
No, that really grinds my gears, though.
It's a spoopy month. No, it's Halloween month. It's
spooky.
Yeah, it's Halloween.
I mean, I'm not even keen on Halloween, on spooky season either, as a phrase.
It's the lead up to Halloween.
It's coming up to Halloween.
Yeah, which means October is even more. It's even more of a necessity. You have to watch horror films, even though you do it all year round. October's just, it gets darker in the evenings. It's autumn. It's the perfect time.
Well, that's it. It's definitely starting to get dark now, isn't it?
So
into that autumn weather.
What we have coming up for you, lovely folks, in the next few weeks of October, after today's episode being The Invisible Man, 1933. Depending on release, we're still working out the release dates, but these are the films that will be coming out in October, being Saw 10, Final Destination 1, Idle Hands, and this year's Halloween installment. I know you've all been waiting for it. We're finally going to do it. Halloween 6. I know. I'm telling you, we're gonna wait 10. We're gonna be doing this for 10 years. Okay, you signed a contract. You're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we'll do Halloween 1.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
You can't.
We're gonna do the Rob Zombie ones first.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we're gonna do David Gordon Green's new trilogy. Yeah. So plenty of good stuff to come in October, and I think we may have come up with some stuff for November. I'm not sure. We'll get to that. Actually, I have a t-shirt on. This hoodie's boiling. It's
hot.
Too hot.
It's too warm. Shall we check the mailbag? Have we checked the mailbag? Do you want to check the mailbag?
Oh, sorry, mate. I just got to wear this one now instead.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I got... Can you tell the fine audio listeners what you're looking at now?
I'm looking at yet another very tasteful Freddy vs. Jason hoodie. This one is black and white. If you've seen the anime Higo girl face, like hentai collage hoodie, it looks very much like that, but it's Freddy versus Jason, and Tom's doing his best. I'm an
adult.
Want to be a rapper?
I'm an adult. Okay.
That's horrendous, isn't it?
I prefer it to that one, but I wouldn't
wear it to the other one.
I wouldn't wear this outside with the public at large.
No.
I had to buy it. I had to.
I mean, I suppose it's got more going on.
Yeah, it's got Remake Jason.
Do you just going back to like why they decided to do this? Do you think they just like somebody opened a warehouse somewhere and found like a bunch of merchandise they just forgot that they had?
That
and we're like, crap, what are we gonna do with this?
That is a good shout. Let's see if Freddy vs. Jason.
I mean, when was Freddy vs. Jason? It was like 2003 or something.
20 years ago. Yeah. I wonder.
But again, it's not an anniversary that a lot of people are celebrating.
No one.
So I think it's purely coincidental.
We're celebrating it.
Well, apart from us, but it's purely. It's got to be purely coincidental that it's 20 years.
It's got to be
since it came out.
It's got to be.
I think somebody just randomly like went and checked out that old warehouse that they'd forgotten they had. Scrooge McDuck went and checked out one of his properties that he'd forgotten about and went, "Oh crap! I've not been down here since 2003. Yeah, we were really banking on that Freddy vs. Jason movie doing a lot better than we thought. What are we gonna do with this X number of thousands of merchandising items?"
The thing is, I can't find. By typing in Freddy vs. Jason hoodie and merch, I can't find this design anywhere. So in theory, this is a new design.
Oh, wow.
Someone was paid to design this.
I mean,
made a living. Design.
No, you can make money doing whatever you want. Everything's a job, isn't it?
Well, that's very true. I
really do want to watch Freddy vs. Jason again, though. Now I kind of wish I'd picked that.
We've already done it. We've already done it. We don't need to do it ever again.
I know, but I've not done it.
You've still got the tag because this is going right back. This is going right back. Oh god. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, okay, right. Let's just. Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait
There's another one. So this is a rather tasteful T-shirt.
It's embossed. The wording is embossed. It's 3D.
Oh wow! They put some effort in there.
That's quality.
That's quality. Yeah, quality work.
I'm not really sure what's going on at the back.
The graphic. I think is it supposed to be like a blood splatter? I think. So we've got with Freddy's glove crossed with the machete. And no, is it that kind of looks like Jason's mask?
There's his eyes.
Yeah.
There's his nose, but then I don't.
It's a bit of Jason's mask. In sort of a vague. I don't know what's going on there.
There's a Freddy face there. Can you see? Mouth.
Yeah, it is like a
weird
blood. I don't know. Blood pattern.
I think this
you think there's something on the back? There is, so we've got them sort of silhouetted on the back. Yeah. Freddy and Jason.
Oh.
Please tell me that's it.
I promise you that's it.
I mean, well done.
Thank you
for committing. You committed. You committed to the bit.
Yeah. I was like, I'm in London on the past Tuesday. I got a lunch break right by a Primark. I need to just go and just grab what I can, keep them in good condition, keep the bag, keep the receipt, put the bit, and then they're going right back, and I'm getting my money back. But, man, I kind of want to keep one.
Now you want to keep one.
If you had to pick one of the three,
ooh,
what would you
had
pick?
To pick? Probably the first one, actually.
Yeah,
I think the first one. Yeah, the black and white one. I mean, I don't wear white. I've got nothing. No. It's too. I can't wash that because I've got nothing to put it in the laundry with.
I can see through it.
And again, wouldn't want to wear it out the house. But
good Lord, no.
But that first one, I think I could rock that.
You could pull it off, yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. I agree because it's the poster. It's not custom art. It's shitty poster.
Yeah.
Stuck on a shitty jumper with a shitty whatever claw that is.
it's Freddy's
machete
little...
on that arm?
I don't know. They have missed the trick there, haven't they? Like by not putting the machete on the other arm.
Yeah. Anyway,
obviously biased, but I might have to go and get myself one. Now I've seen it on.
Now you've seen it.
I've warmed to it.
I'll be honest. I was quite hoping for the. Tom is modeling a 2023 Primark special, the Freddy vs. Jason line. I need to edit that with
some catwalk music.
That might be if I get time to splice it together. This might be our first TikTok.
Oh, nice.
Well, on that exciting news, shall we get into today's episode?
Let's get into it. Yeah. It's only fair. People, if you've stayed with us for this long,
you brave souls.
Exactly. You've soldiered on through all of that nonsense. We will head into The Invisible Man. And I think the first thing we need to address is whether this is a true story or not, don't we?
Yes. Oh, that was so funny.
Where did that come from?
What did I search? I searched The Invisible Man. I think I literally just searched The Invisible Man 1933. And then when you get on Google, people also ask, you get the questions.
Okay.
It was on one of them. There it is. It's the sixth question on people also ask, is The Invisible Man based on a true story? How The Invisible Man based is it's gaslighting. I think this is more based on this question / answer is based on the most recent remake, the Elizabeth Moss one, which is actually meant to be quite good. Gaslighting thriller on real life stories of abuse, because it's a very different story, the remake, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Speaking of which, let's just quickly get the plot of that.
Because I was, when you saw it, when I saw that message, I thought somebody had asked on the Twitter. I thought it was somebody asking on Twitter or what have you.
So we got.
I was going to say, please tell me that we don't have to address that question.
These are our loyal fans. These are the sort of fans we get into this podcast. So for instance, the plot of the most recent Invisible Man is when Cecilia's abusive ex takes his own life and leaves her his fortune, she suspects his death was a hoax. As a series of coincidences turn lethal, Cecilia works to prove that she's been hunted by someone nobody can see. So she's basically being hunted by her abusive ex. So hence,
is this the 2021?
Yeah. Which that's kind of the loose connection between the question.
Right.
It trying to make sense.
Yeah.
But when you do see a question like that to a film like this, with the word invisible, your first instinct is it's probably not based on a real story.
It's probably not. But it is another literary adaptation, isn't it?
It is indeed by H.G. Wells.
We are back. Yeah, we are back to Universal's versions of literary classics.
Yeah.
Because obviously The Mummy wasn't. That was the first one that we've done that skipped being based on a novel or any such thing. So we're back to that.
It wasn't based on novel, but it was more so close to real events.
It was
based on a real story. Yeah,
it was inspired by the Tutankhamun's tomb being found, etc. But yeah, this is back to a book, back to a story. H.G. Wells again, not one I've read. I don't know anything really about The Invisible Man.
No,
as a novel.
No, I actually had no idea about it plot wise. It's actual like how everything goes about in the film, how it all goes down. Like
Same.
seen
I had...
what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an iconic image with the glasses.
Yeah. The
We'll
bandages and the glasses.
But in my mind, I always had the idea that he was, well, he wasn't evil, which he turns out to be straight from the get-go. I thought it was an accident, and he was trying to get back to normal.
Yeah, same. Almost like a tragedy. Yeah, he was the victim. He was going to be the victim, and it was going to be, the horror element was more like, the science has gone wrong sort of thing and affected somebody. Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting as well. So it was, spoiler, it's not that.
Oh no! Oh no, it is not. And I'm glad. It was completely different to what I thought it was.
Yeah,
really am.
Yeah, definitely. Again, straight into it. I like. There's one thing I've got to say, like in favor of all of these Universal movies, is how quickly they get to the point.
Love it.
Something that is sorely lacking in modern cinema. Where, I mean, if I say if it was made today, I've not seen the 2021, but I guarantee there's about 45 minutes at least of setup before anybody turns invisible. Back in the day, they didn't mess around. It went, it's in the title, Invisible Man. So right from the moment, the get-go, man's already invisible. We don't need to find out. He's already invisible. We'll just get straight into it. Here he is, the man, the invisible one, is there. And off we go. And then there's a little bit of like, filler conversation.
A
little bit later on.
Yeah, the usual Universal characters, basically.
Yeah. It's old men in suits.
No Baron.
Old white guys in doctor's coats this time. That basically, he's done some experimentation and he's turned himself invisible. Right, okay, we got it.
Where do you rank this now? We're 4 films into our 8-film series, and our Blu-ray box set, which inspired this whole series. Mm-hmm. We're halfway through. Where are you ranking this? Where are you ranking all 4?
Putting it, I think I like it more than The Mummy.
Agreed.
But that's where it's going. I think it's The Mummy, this, Dracula, and Frankenstein.
Yeah, completely agree. That's exactly Frankenstein number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was certainly more entertaining than The Mummy was.
Oh, without doubt.
But but it wasn't perfect. There was a few bits that kind of irked me about it. But yeah, it's, it was good to watch it because I think this was for both of us one that, well, clearly we didn't know anything about really going into it plot wise. Neither of us had seen it before.
It was pretty much the first one. Like the other ones, one of us had seen one, or this was, I believe it was our first fresh look.
Fresh for both of us.
Yeah. And again, like we said, I'm glad to have my initial assumptions prove wrong, because what it turned out to be was, I would say, a good paced film. I don't think it died down too much, but I think the highlight of the film is the Invisible Man. I think Act 2, Claude Rains playing Dr. Jack Griffin. He was voicing, shall I say, and acting when he could. Fantastic. He was fantastic. The voice was so good. And I looked did a bit of research for later on Invisible Man films, because they pumped these out. Vincent Price eventually became Invisible Man.
Okay.
And you go for, that again is another incredible voice acting for this part. You need that eccentric, crazy, over the top voice acting for the Invisible Man.
Yeah, there we go. The Invisible Man Returns.
Yeah. I got the list of all the ones that came after. It was like sequels being Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Woman, The Invisible Agent, The Invisible Man's Revenge, Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, Son of the Invisible Man, and a film called Amazon Women on the Moon spoofed it.
Okay.
And the clip I've seen of it is quite funny. Like the guy who thinks he's the Invisible Man isn't invisible, but he thinks he's invisible, takes off all his clothes in the bar and goes up to someone playing chess at the bar and is like, oh, look at all your pieces moving around. And the guy's just sitting there looking at him going, wow, I wonder what's doing this.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, do you want to go through a quick plot summary? Do you want to take it away? I feel like I do these a lot.
Yeah, so you because you're very good at speak. I mean, I will probably just read a plot synopsis because I'm not very good at coming up with my own. Here's a good one. While researching a new drug, Dr. Jack Griffin stumbles on a potion that can make him invisible. It's in the title. When he reveals his new ability to his old mentor and his fiancée, it's clear that the side effect of the potion is insanity. Now, that comes into effect big time in this film because there are points where he goes from a 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds. There's a specific point later on, which we'll talk about, where he's talking to his fiancée, where he's, I love you, dear, and I want to rule the world. It's just crazy. Jack goes on a violent rampage, and the police struggle to hunt him down. The police, i.e. Three Stooges, struggle to hunt him down and unable to see their target. His mentor and his former partner desperately try to devise a plan to capture him. So, and like you said at the beginning, this is from the get-go. He's invisible from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole film, he's trying to make himself non-invisible, but at the same time, the insanity is running his mind.
Yeah. Let's just talk. Sorry.
Go ahead. No. That was it.
I was going to say, let's just talk about that opening scene. So we have it. So the film opens with this blizzard. Essentially, it's really like, cold, wintry night, heavy snow, and we see a man wrapped up. Seemingly just wrapped up against the weather. His hat's pulled low over his face, and it's clear he's got like something over his mouth, a scarf or whatever. And he enters this pub, which looks like the wildest pub. There's a game of darts going on in that pub that is... They're throwing darts from every angle. Like,
yes,
nobody...
they are.
They spotted it straight away. They're not sort of stood traditionally like you would, 6 foot in front of the dartboard and throwing in a straight line. It's
45 degree, maybe?
There's one guy from over there. There's another guy that's at the bar. Just he's having a turn. It doesn't matter where you are. They're just hoying darts at the board. But yeah, the door opens and in walks this mystery figure who is incredibly rude. I
want a room.
Strides in, wants a room, wants a private sitting room.
Yeah.
Sort this out for me. Sort that out for me. But yeah, he's causes a bunch of commotion, and everybody's immediately like, "Who's this guy?" And they're all sort of trying to guess where this chap's come from and what his story is. And we are shown very quickly that the bandages that he wears and such are covering up this this secret of his.
Visually, it's a fantastic look, very subtle, but it's a fantastic look, and it's very of the time. He's got the long trench coat and the hat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the bandages and the sunglasses when it's meant to be at nighttime just really make it look great.
And the false nose.
Yes,
as well.
The false nose. Yeah.
I think in later scenes it's just the bandage, isn't it? But
yeah, it's like hovering over his nose. Yeah.
Yeah, but in his sort of earlier, his first appearances, he actually does have a little false nose that he wears that he's bandaged to his face.
Did you also notice in this amazing quirky bar the piano?
No, I didn't.
So there's a piano playing, and so the camera cut before. I think this is before our Invisible Man has walked in, They're just establishing the bar. The bar, a few tables out, the darts, but there's a piano in the background, and it cuts to the guy playing it, and then finishes, turns around, gets an applause. But the guy sat next to him gets a coin out, puts it in the piano, and it starts playing. And he turns around, oh, shit, I've got to be playing. So it's a fake piano the whole time. Piano. And this type of subtle, bit slapstick comedy sprinkled throughout this film.
There is a lot of slapstick.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Three Stooges, very free, and before Three Stooges even existed. And I just want to mention one more thing before back to where we are. I'm going to just reverse it to the beginning of the film. Now, I may be mistaken, but there was an NRA logo. And
was there?
Yeah, and I'm just going to check this again.
But, in the opening credits, you mean?
Yes.
There was. Yes, there was.
Really bizarre. I haven't had time to actually look into it as I watched the film last night, but I don't know if it's affiliate, if this is the NRA.
That's I had exactly the same thought. I saw it and I was like, hang on a minute, is that the NRA as in National Rifle Association, isn't it?
Scumbags
of America. I was like, really? Right. Why are they making films? Did they finance it to get going or something like that?
There we go. I've got it loaded up now.
If it is indeed that same NRA. Yeah, very strange.
Here we go. NRA member, US. We do our part with a picture of an eagle. Yeah, this is just... I have no idea. I mean, 33. When did the NRA establish? 1871.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. I'm going to look into that after this and try and find out what the hell that connection is. Because that is a very obscure connection. And the other little thing I just wanted to mention before we get back into it, in the opening credits, did you notice how they were labeled? How they were, the title, they're the players.
I saw Claude Rains is called the Invisible One.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think I did spot that. I can't say I noticed anything untoward about anything else, but else?
It's not labeled like cast and crew. They're labeled the players.
The players.
Which really, I think, added to the feel of, because at times this felt like it could be a theatre show, a theatrical stage show. You look at how big some of the sets were and some of the camera angles, the slapstick comedy, all that added together. You add to the players. It felt very theatrical.
Yeah, I guess so. I'd not noticed that before. I suppose that's deliberate then, though, if that's how they credited people.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about what you were saying about the Three Stooges and the slapstick stuff. As you say, there is a lot of it sprinkled throughout. Sometimes a little bit too much, I think.
Oh God, yes.
Like, quite literally, as we see, we're told basically that Griffin has been investigating this drug, the side effect of which is essentially insanity, and as well as turning him invisible, it's sending him mad. And I suppose it just reinforces that madness, because he goes from, like, it's almost like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like violent insanity on the one hand and like kicking somebody up the bum and running away giggling the other. It's, like he's talking about wanting to, like you say, rule the world and hear every secret and rob, and I think he says rape as well.
I think he may do. He may not be. He says stuff like throttle. Just
But then in the next scene, he's like knocking a policeman's helmet off and running away laughing. It's just it's so up and down, which
and then
I suppose does feed into this madness.
Blows up a train of like 100 people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he does do some definitely like horrible, violent stuff. But
Like,
in
I mean,
the midst of all this, he pushes over a pram at one point as well.
yeah, he
which
does, and it's not even like
is-
what they did in Speed, where the bus hits the pram in Speed, and it's cans. No, this. I mean, they didn't
it's
show
somebody
baby.
walking their
This is
child, and he just shoves it over.
fuck them kids. But I imagine with because of all those aspects, back in the 30s, this film must have been terrifying. I mean,
guess so.
And violent, and very violent.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose so. We get, like strangles the policeman in, the first 20 minutes. It does, yeah. I guess it is. It's easy to forget that, isn't it? Really, that you watching a film that's, that's such from such a different place in terms of like our cultural sensibilities and such. Yeah, it probably is very over the top in terms of the violence and stuff, for sure.
It doesn't take long at said bar where he is now staying for him to even be exposed as the Invisible Man, because he instantly wants to get set up with his experiments, trying to get trying to get back to normal. And for a second I was like, how the he wasn't carrying all these test tubes and all this equipment. It's like, oh no, wait, he did mention there's more bags to come. That's okay, that's fine. But the couple that own the bar, she's very eccentric. She's very over the top, and like her just random parts of screaming outbursts just every now and then, like where her husband gets pushed down the stairs and she's by the Invisible Man, and she's just holding him, and then suddenly
yeah, she does. She also just barefaced lies at one point. She says, I did make a note about it. Because she walks in with the mustard, and she
gotta have that mustard.
And he shouts at her he shouts at her to get out, and then she's downstairs telling the policeman that's there about it, and she claims that he swore at her, but I swear he doesn't swear at her. He just tells her to get out and like slams the door.
It might be swearing in those days,
maybe, but I don't recall him saying anything apart from get out. But she's like, oh, he swore at me. He did. Like,
he did. But she kept barging. He said he wanted to be alone.
Yeah, okay? She's popping in there every 5 minutes. She kept
barging in. So, kind of had it coming in a way. But you mentioned the policeman. That's probably one of the first proper bits of the goofy slapstick, because when he's exposed and the citizens go out to find the policeman, what's all this then? It feels so comical and goofy. And then when they end up getting to his room and chasing him, it's so Three Stooges.
Or like pantomime or something.
Yeah. Chasing 4 of them running around a single seat chasing him, and then one stops, they keep running, and then they run in to whack the other civilian. Oh, point! It's really goofy. It's such a weird flip of tone, because this film can be really serious to then flip to bits like this. But I guess maybe back then, moments like this didn't seem slapsticky or goofy like we see it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess part of it is maybe because it's that hello, or that sort of cliched kind of pantomime sort of police officer portrayal that we don't see anymore, but I guess comes from these earlier productions. But then again, somebody getting mistakenly bonked on the head with a truncheon is slapstick, whichever way you chop it up,
until your head starts bleeding.
I mean, he texts because Griffin's getting undressed, and he's there, and he's just a shirt is all you can see, and the copper says, "How do I handcuff a bleeding shirt?"
Yeah, because he's just down to his shirt, isn't he? It's just a hovering shirt. Yeah.
It's like, well, there's a man there. You've already established that he is a man, but just invisible.
Yeah, you're not really in the know of what's going on. Like, there is something otherworldly going on right now. There's an invisible man or a ghost, but you can see his arms. You give it a go. You're a policeman, for God's sake.
He's there. He's physical.
Take him down. Is this where he escapes? He escapes out the window, right?
He escapes out the window. Yeah. Oh, does he? I think he ends up going out the door. He
does.
He throttles. He opens the window, and they move to guard it, and then he chokes the policeman.
Yeah.
And then just runs out of the door. Yeah, it's just like bonkers, and he escapes, and that's when he's running through the town and just sort of pushing the pram over, and because I think my notes are, my notes go like this. So he's just crazy and made himself invisible? ? Hear every secret, rob, etc. Pushing prams over, hitting people with brooms, all a bit slapstick. And then the next bit is when we get the information. Invisibility has made him crazy.
Yeah, we weren't given that to begin with, were we?
No. It's not until we see his colleagues, essentially discussing that Griffin has gone on a research trip. Or he's left they don't know. He's left a note just to say he's gone, or not to look for him or something, isn't it?
Yeah, they eventually work out that it's flower/drug from India that he's been messing around with, that is causing these side effects, this issue at hand. But the first part, like you said, when we transitioned to what were their names? His colleagues, basically. Kemp. Kemp's one of them.
Yeah.
Kemp.
And Cranley.
Cranley and Kemp. And also his fiancée.
Flora.
Now.
Yeah, is she Cranley's daughter?
Yeah.
Or niece or something like that.
This is where I it was like we start to get, okay, the universal monsters trope. We have the heroine. We have somewhat of a love interest / other man, I'll say. Similar to Dracula with Mina and John Harker, Frankenstein with Elizabeth and Victor / Henry, and the Mummy, Helen and Frank. It's in all of them so far. I definitely don't think she was the strongest. I really don't think she was the strongest female lead. But did you see who played her? It's related to my Titanic meme earlier on.
Gloria Stewart. Yeah. Is she the old lady from Titanic?
She is the 84 years.
The same lady. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, she's been in a load of other big films, but I mean, Titanic's pretty big.
I mean, that's a hell of a career though, as well.
Well, yeah. 33 or 32, The Old Dark House, which I actually looked into after this. We're looking 2004 was her last credit. So 90 years. It's mad. Absolutely mad. Although it does look like she didn't work from 46 to 75. So
I mean, there's a lot of TV stuff in there. But anyway, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, so that was my definitely comparing that trope with all the others. It feels like that's the template.
That's the universal template.
Yeah.
And then the monster just switches out.
Yeah, pretty much. But she was definitely not the strongest. I really wasn't a fan of her character in the film.
No,
to be fair.
No. No, I mean, to be quite honest, I lost like half an hour. Well, maybe not half an hour, but a lot towards the second half of this film.
Yeah.
I just zoned out with it. I don't know what happened, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is still on. I just completely switched because it just seemed to do that sort of same thing again. Every time I looked at the screen, there seemed to be a line of coppers holding hands, and then
you watching Heartbeat,
and then it had cut to him having a conversation, the Invisible Man having a conversation with one of his colleagues, and then there'd be some shouting, and then it'd be a line of coppers trying to trap him somewhere again. I was just like, this, like, do something. This is...
For the most part, yeah. After we get the exposition of what's happened to him and the introduction of all our other characters, we go through a lot of police, like different ranks. It seems we go higher up the ranks of police, maybe to like government officials. You know, all the guys in the suits and the trilby hats were there.
Yeah.
We go through a lot of different stages of police.
Well, we get like a national state of emergency declared almost. The Invisible Man is on the loose. The Invisible Man is on the loose. Everybody needs to stay inside and lock the doors.
And for the second half of the film, it's mostly the back and forth between Kemp, who has discovered what's happened to Griffin, but Griffin, the Invisible Man, basically needs him to shut up, be quiet. Otherwise, he's going to do to him what he ends up doing to him and killing him at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
10 o'clock.
No sooner, no later.
I'm going to kill you at 10 o'clock tomorrow evening.
It's predominantly that, but the back and forth between Kemp and Griffin and the police hunting him down in numerous ways, like trying with a net. They have people calling. They have like a reward, £1,000 reward for capturing, and they have people ringing into the police going, "I've got this idea what you could do, governor." I mean, I was just thinking, just give everyone a bag of flour and just start throwing flour around. You'll catch him.
I mean, in most, because they do come close a couple of times to almost getting
They do.
And generally he escapes by pulling somebody's trousers down and kicking him up the arse and running away laughing. So it all goes very slapstick.
It really is.
But every time he has one of these interactions, like there's one where it is they're all linked up, and they're sort of closing this like physical like line of men are coming closer, and somehow Griffin has slipped behind them and grabs one of their legs, so he's just sort of suspended by his friends. But in all these little interactions where he's like running invisible circles around the police and tweaking noses and knocking hats off and such, they all just stand there. They all just stand there watching him. So they've got hold of their mate's hands and he's got the feet, and they're just kind of going, well, we know he's there. He's got your mate's feet. Drop him and grab him. It's just like, Arthur won't mind just like, hitting the deck for a second if you can grab the guy you're after. But they just stand there watching him.
Well, speaking of the guy that you just mentioned, the guy that he grabs his feet, so he's basically planking in midair. Yeah. He then somehow has the strength to spin him around in midair.
Yeah.
That's some strength right there to be able to do that.
I mean, I don't think that superhuman strength is ever referenced again, but in that moment, he is essentially, just whizzing him round by the ankles.
Just back to that little exposition scene of the two doctors and I forgot her name again. Titanic lady.
Flora.
Where she's finding it hard to understand what's happened to him, finding it tough, and they're trying to calm her down. There's such a Naked Gun scene, little shot on this in that set. So big set. I think they're at one of their mansions, one of their manor houses. And they're in one room over here on the left of your screen, and then they go to the right. Kemp follows Titanic woman to the right. But the camera zooms out. They both go through this door, but the camera zooms out and the set stops. So in a way, they could have just walked around. It reminded me of the Naked Gun where they're in the police station where Frank walks through the door and his partner goes round the door.
Round the set.
Is completely pointless. I wonder if I can find it. just to show you. Yeah, I just had to write that down. What's with the Naked Gun set? Because again, that made me feel like it felt like very theatrical. It feels like we were watching it on stage. Yeah, which would make sense. You know, if it's on stage, the set would end.
This one probably has the smallest sets.
Yeah. You got the pub, the room of the pub.
I mean, there's certainly no sweeping Gothic castles in this, or big staircases, or any of and certainly no pyramids or anything of that nature. This feels like the smallest in scale, although it's kind of hinted that the chaos is potentially nationwide, or at least in there's a couple of clues as to where it's set. There's a sign right at the beginning as he's on his approach to the pub. There is a road sign, and it's like whatever, but I couldn't make out the name of the place.
It's Ipin, I believe it's called. It's in Sussex.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. Some of the accents were a bit hard to gauge, but it's in Sussex.
Because the other thing was the landlady in the pub mentions Bass beer specifically, which is brewed in Burton upon Trent in the Midlands. So I was thinking that's where it was, but
is that the same as Shandy Bass?
Yeah, Bass Shandy. Yeah.
Every teenager's gateway into alcohol in England in the 90s and 80s.
In the Bass Brewery, I think they still operate. I'm not sure, to be honest. Marston's. Yeah.
It's awfully British.
It's that weird red triangle logo.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's like a definite like Midlands thing. So it's like, oh, it's set in the Midlands, but Sussex, I guess, makes sense as well. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we'd actually got like a full. Because I remember looking at it and trying to read it, and then it skipping to the next scene. It was like, I'm not sure I made out exactly what that was. So it is a real place then. That's.
I don't know if the town's real, but that's when it's meant to be set. From what I read,
okay.
Sussex. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is all very British. But yeah, like I say, it feels a lot smaller scope wise.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the Invisible Man, the budget of this film. $330,000 as opposed to, say, let's have a look at Dracula budget. Around the same, 350,000. So they all had pretty much the same sort of budget. Yeah. Yeah, you're completely right. Nothing so grandiose like I'm thinking exactly that. The staircase, big, beautiful artistic sets like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a criticism, and it wouldn't fit necessarily. No. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking. The Frankenstein budget was just under 300,000, 291. Yeah. So it's certainly all in keeping not to have these things, but I guess it's just noteworthy that it's the first one that we've come across that doesn't, and it does have this more, well, I guess familiar setting as well, given that it is jolly old England. Because I'm not sure the other one, not sure any of the other ones. Oh, I mean, Dracula's London, isn't it?
Yep. Dracula's London.
And Whitby.
Frankenstein, I think we mentioned that it felt very, I would say, Bavarian, sort of.
European, it's like Germany, Austria, it's that sort of setting. And obviously the Mummy is
Cairo,
Egypt.
Yeah.
So this is... So it's not the first one set in England, but it feels more...
Yes, definitely.
Smaller and more... Well, Middle England, I guess, rather than it being just London or, any other nameless city.
There was another. I think I picked up on more of the silly moments than I think the key moments of the film, because I think they felt so out of place. Like,
yeah, well, that's the thing. It could. I mean, especially as well, given what we've said about it, viewing it from a modern point of view, it's certainly not scary. So
no.
There's really not much of the horror element to it, but the slapstick, the comedy, is enduring, I guess. So yeah, it does feel a lot like you're watching a spoof movie, you know, like Laurel and Hardy were going to turn up.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, but there's an end table on it as well.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. What's the point?
I don't know, but there is like, it's not just end of wall set ending. There's like a table there with a plant on it.
That I don't understand the choice for that. Because, like I said,
I mean, who knows? I guess, you know, maybe they were using a set that was already there, or, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, like, that feels as if you're the eyes of the camera, you're a stage, you're a play. You're following the characters across the stage, and that's where they're going.
We shouldn't have seen that, really.
No, not at all.
You'd set up another shot for them entering the room or something like that. Yeah. I mean, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't make films in front of live audiences, did they, or anything like that? There wouldn't have been people.
The Invisible Man filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Maybe it is a gaff. Maybe it's just genuine.
Maybe
goof.
Yeah, because I don't see any reason for that to be on purpose. I mean, I can't understand why a house would be built like that.
Well, that's it. You wouldn't build a house like that in the first instance. So it's got to be something that, we're not supposed to be seeing there. It's giving it away that it is a set, definitely. So,
yeah.
I think that maybe that is just a goof. Maybe that's something that we shouldn't have seen.
What do you prefer? Because he has two looks, really, our Invisible Man. He has his first look where he rocks up at the pub, is working at the pub, and then he escapes, obviously. Or our sophisticated, suave Hugh Hefner.
It's the smoking jacket that does it. I mean,
and the gloves.
The smoking jacket and gloves with the checked trim collar, and it's beautiful. A look, isn't it?
It's a hell of a look.
It is a look. In fact, I'm still debating what my Halloween costume's going to be this year, and if I get to wear essentially a dressing gown to a party, maybe the Invisible Man wouldn't be a bad shout.
Any excuse to be comfy at a party.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm always down for that. I'm not young anymore. I just want to be comfy.
I essentially can spend the evening wearing pajamas and a bandage around my head, so I don't have to look at anybody or talk to anybody. It sounds perfect.
Well, speaking of not having to look at anyone, we got to talk about those dope ass sunglasses. With the side shades.
I think his first set of sunglasses, the circular ones, are better.
They look like your steampunk ones that you can get on eBay. Yeah, everyone's got.
In fact, with the little tufts of hair, kind of getting Doc Ock, Alfred Molina vibes.
Yep, completely. Yeah, but I've never seen that second pair of sunglasses that he has, where it's got the side shade.
Little extra panels on the side
to stop the light coming in on the side, I guess.
I guess so. They're a bit snazzy, them.
I completely agree. That look is, I love that look. His let's say his second iteration, second installment. But
smoking jacket's where it's at, definitely.
I think the thing I took away from this film the most, I really loved, was how impressive the effects were with him for the time.
Yeah.
For the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a genuinely, well, we get like a bit of a shock reveal when she busts in with the mustard, and he quickly pulls a napkin up across his uncovered chin. But we do get a glimpse of him being invisible, which is a strange sentence to get your head around. But later on, when we get the sort of first reveal, when he goes like, "Fine, you're wondering who I am, and I'm gonna show you," and he takes everything off. Like, that is, it's a really good effect. It works really, really well. Even there's a few bits later on where, like, things are floating around that look a little bit hokey by, comparing it to modern special effects or whatever. But that first, the tone and what have you of that first proper reveal, when he strips the bandages off and he's throwing his nose at them and all the rest of it, it's great. It's really, really good.
It is really good, yeah. And it looks great. Like that. That looks better than some high budget films with CGI. And I read up on how they did it. Did you see on how they did it?
I saw a couple of notes on it.
About.
But go ahead.
So the guy in charge of special effects was named John Keith Fulton, and apparently to create the effect, they basically covered the bits that would be invisible on his face with black felt, and then they shot it on a black background, and then would splice that into the original shot. So they cuts it out and then splice it on top. But yeah, that's a lot of work to do digitally, in our modern age. Doing that with reels is even more incredible. And it's like you said, there were some bits that looked a bit, but it's forgiven for 1933.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. But a lot of it is smooth and seamless. Like, and there was one I watched the behind the scenes actually on the Blu-ray of this, and they were talking about the hardest part to shoot was when he's about to go to bed at Kemp's place, and he's taken his dinner jacket off and he's got his stripy pajamas on, and he's in front of the mirror, and you can see his reflection, and he's doing the bandage, and that's happening in the reflection. And apparently they had to shoot that 4 or 5 different attempts. So they have to shoot his real figure in the foreground, unbandaging his head. So they have to do the invisible thing on his head. They have to shoot the background without him there. They then have to shoot his reflection doing it. I would assume on different cameras or different times. And they have to shoot the background in the reflection. Like it. I don't know. I couldn't to come up with that. It's genius for 1933.
Yeah.
I have to give it so much props because I think it's fantastic.
I mean, it must be one of the earliest examples of, I guess it's chroma key work, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that seeing those sort of effects for the first time must have been like absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah. It really is. And I think about him, he's actually, we talked about the rankings of these films. He's actually probably at the top of my favorite designs of our Universal monsters so far. If I'm honest, I really love the simplicity in the design of him because of the fact I didn't realize he was evil. Now knowing he's evil, it kind of adds to it a bit more. It's
a little bit more sinister, knowing what the actual character is. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like how do you visualize an invisible character? Because I guess they could have done the entire thing with him just being a disembodied voice and the special effects that they used. But there's got to be some times where, he's a visible character and stuff. So, but they could have I guess they could have done a bunch of different things, but
when
bandages
great. Work. Bandages, but it's not just bandages. He's got the suit on over the top of his bandages.
Yeah. Well, he's still a respected doctor.
He is. He's a respected doctor. Yeah,
but also a respected doctor.
He's come up with a fake nose, and what I was trying to think, that can't be his real hair because he's invisible. He's either got a wig or he's got patches of hair coming out of his bandages.
It is a wig. You do actually, you
see the wig. You do see the wig. Okay.
You do see the wig when it strips off. I'm just looking at this figure that you've sent me, and you do actually get the little wig separate.
I love it. I love it. And you also see his bottom half of his mouth comes out, so he looks like Beaker from the Muppets.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
That is good.
Just looking at a NECA figure of Invisible Man on Amazon, and it's a really good looking figure. I mean, it's NECA, of course it is.
It's not the smoking jacket, unfortunately.
Well, yeah,
it's not the smoking jacket look. But it's looking good. I mean, again, I think we said this in previous episodes and stuff. The Invisible Man is probably not the big, the icon.
No, it's not at all.
The Wolfman, and in fact, I think if you're going to do a Mount Rushmore of the Universal monsters, it's probably Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I would personally, maybe the mummy instead of the creature, but I feel like the creature's more iconic.
Yeah. No, I was thinking more. Would you put the Wolfman?
Oh, instead of the mummy, instead of the Wolfman. Yeah, maybe. In any case,
yeah.
We're not arguing for the placement of the Invisible Man, are we? Let's.
No, we're not. And I don't know if it is a shame or not, but I think it just comes down to, like I said, I'm more intrigued by this character now after learning.
Yeah.
Like in the film, I have more appreciation for him than I did before. Way more.
Oh, sure, now, certainly. But like I said, it's just, he's still maybe he's not a first picker, you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Like,
well, I mean, isn't Phantom of the Opera's in this series, isn't he?
Phantom of the Opera is in this series as well. Again, yeah, Phantom of the Opera is not one that I'd...
Phantom to me is what it's become, the musical.
Which is the musical and the stage show.
Yeah. The large spectacle that it is.
In fact, I'm just looking at what other...
maybe Bride?
The Bride's, again, sort of second tier, third tier, I guess, because it's a pretty iconic look, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some of these other Nika figures, and they've got Dracula, Wolfman, the Mummy, and Frankenstein. There doesn't appear to be any of the others.
What? So they you're saying NECA have done, like, say, the big hitters, but not the little ones?
Yeah, it doesn't say. I mean, I'm not. I'm just looking at the customers who also bought, or you might also be interested in.
Yeah.
And it's not showing the bride, or the creature, or anything like that. I dare say they probably do exist. But yeah, I agree.
Where were we?
I agree. We were talking about how underrated the look of the Invisible Man is, because I still don't think he's the first choice, second or even second choice when people think of Universal monsters.
No,
but they've done something clever and done something unique in making an invisible character have an iconic look.
Yeah, completely.
Because I think thinking about more modern iterations, Hotel Transylvania. Have you seen the Hotel Transylvania movies? The animated,
I'm aware of it. Is that Adam
kids
Sandler?
Things. I think Adam Sandler's involved somehow. Yeah. There's an Invisible Man character in that, and I believe he. I guess all the monsters in that are taken from the Universal look, but there is an Invisible Man character in that.
Okay.
And he is he is that. He is that bandage, suit and tie.
That I guess
so
takes that look and does its own thing.
Yeah, it's the enduring look for the character, I think.
Yeah, it's like I said, I have a brand new appreciation for it, not knowing a thing really about it in the first place. And definitely not knowing a thing about his evil side, which just he can go from 0 to 1,000 in an instant. This guy, he has rage problems. That's what this drug has done to him.
Definitely. I mean, don't they say something about it being injected into a Labrador and it sending in a Labrador mad?
And it turned it white or something.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely bizarre. The people that keep thinking they're seeing they're seeing an invisible man are getting blamed on like it's a disease that's spreading. It's on a radio broadcast, and they're saying about how a disease is spreading where it's making people think they're seeing an invisible man or a ghost. They're blaming it on, well, not knowing the science behind whatever it is. They're just throwing a disease out there, throwing that these people are crazy, rather than trying to think about what the hell is going on. But he just wants to murder towards the end. He just wants to kill.
Just that is kind of as far as they go with
because Flora
the explanation for it.
Okay, again, Flora was her name Flora. We're gonna call her Flora.
Yeah.
Flora and her father, the scientist, end up at Kemp's, and she has a one-on-one with Griffin. And there's this point where she's trying to, basically, may as well say, "Come back to me and have a life with me." And he goes. This is where he goes from 1 to 1,000. Where he could be. He starts by talking, "I love you. I missed you. I want to do all this with you, and then I want to go kill. I want to do this. I want to rule the world. I want to destroy everything." And it just snaps in an instant. He's rage filled, absolutely rage filled. It's kind of like it's almost like the drug he took. He's got a withdrawal from.
Yeah, because I mean we don't really know what he's done, do we? He's injecting himself with a potion or something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of as far as it goes. Maybe, and we're told that previous trials with this drug sent an animal mad, specifically a dog, but sent an animal mad. And then, it is almost that's just kind of it. And then we go into the story and we see what happens to him. But it is very much like he's fine 1 minute, not the next. Like, I think you're right. I think there is kind of almost a sort of allegory for drug addiction there, or withdrawal.
Yeah, because he definitely has the the scratches, the itches in a way, because of he just goes from 0 to 100. Apparently, though, in the novel, the H.G. Wells original novel, he's more of like his outbursts and the way he acts is more based down to him being more of like a revolutionary. He has more of like traits of wanting to be a revolutionary rather than sadistic and just wants to kill. He wants to. There's a point later on, maybe 2/3 final act of the film, where he goes to the bank and he picks up one of the teller's drawers, takes it outside, just flings money to people. Rather than taking it for himself, which would be quite hard to use. But how would an invisible man use money? There's no point. So he's stealing money and giving it to people.
Yeah, he does do that. But then I think earlier he does mention that he'd be able to hear every secret.
Yeah,
and he'd be like the most powerful man in the world because he essentially he'd have the ability to know everything.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't think it's that sort of altruistic, is it? he's still wanting to ultimately be in charge. Doesn't he do that as a distraction technique, or is it just?
Possibly. I'm not sure exactly what happens afterwards, though. If for instance that is a distraction technique.
Mm-hmm. But it is kind of just chaotic, isn't it? I suppose.
Gotcha.
Is the other side of it is for every like, you know, heinous and violent crime he's committing, he's also just doing a bunch of like kind of annoying stuff, like
yeah,
like because he's invisible and he's just a bit of a prankster.
Yeah, he definitely is a prankster. What's the scene where he starts chasing a woman down the road, but it's just his trousers, and he's singing a song to himself.
Yeah, is that? I think that's is that earlier on when he first escapes from?
It might be. Yeah, I don't have the film.
I definitely remember just to be in a pair of trousers and he does a little dance and he's singing a little. Oh yeah, what's the song he's singing?
Something about nuts. It's something about nuts.
Yeah. Oh god, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he's just doing his little jig, singing a song.
Because the way the trousers go, they're flippity floppity, and I'm trying to imagine an actual person in those walking or running like that, and it would look even worse. Like, imagine it was just a story about a killer or a psychopathic scientist, mad, and he's running, chasing like a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah, it don't really fit, does it?
It doesn't fit. No,
it's difficult to take him seriously as a scary villain in that regard. You know, like I say, it establishes very quickly that he's invisible, and shortly after that he's going crazy because of it, or as a side effect of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is pretty much it. It's the police are trying to hunt him down.
Yeah.
And or he's gonna go fully mad. And his friends are trying to get to him before something, you know, too drastic happens or whatever. Yeah, it is pretty simple. And like I said, it just felt like there was a few rinse and repeat scenes. Oh, I've just found the scene with the trousers.
Oh, you found it? Where is it? How far along are we looking?
It's just after the bit where he's swinging the chap round by his ankles. 53:40.
Oh, it's that far on. It's after when the police have just. So this is when the police have just tried to first corner him in Kemp's house.
Yeah.
Where they're all linked up in arms doing Hands Across America.
54 minutes even. Here we go, gathering nuts in May.
That's it.
Here we go, gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.
Well, I just accidentally clicked on 55:40 just to try and get close to it, and I've got to the train scene, and I forgot how he storms into the control room, knocks out the guy working there, changes the direction of the tracks, and then the train just the model train, bear in mind, the model train just right on, like it's a massacre. It just absolutely kills maybe 100 people.
Yeah, just I love the knockout acting though when he hits the guy with a lamp.
Oh god, yeah. And then I think before that we've also got this is his rampage, isn't it? Moment. This is his where he there's a hillside with a really badly made wooden fence, and he's just pushing people down the hill. Whoop! There goes another one. Oi. And do you know what? I gotta say, the voice acting, voice over acting, because obviously it's it's probably ADR recorded separately. It doesn't sound like it's cheaply done in like a booth somewhere or a studio somewhere. Sometimes you get that with bad ADR in films where it sounds like this is definitely voiced over. It sounds like it's been recorded live there on set.
Yeah, I'd be interesting to see. There must be some documentaries about how this was made. It'd be interesting to see just how they did it. I mean, I guess with most ADR, it's because they go back over it and they go, oh, we didn't quite get that line. We need just to come in and we can get it for clarity or whatever. I guess the difference with this is they always knew that it was going to be invisible and this is what they'd be doing. So
I didn't expect Kemp to die. I didn't expect it to actually pay off in Kemp's death. In quite a brutal way. He gets, again, they use this hill a lot. There's this mountainside. Kemp's tied up in the car, gets pushed off, car explodes down the hill. Explodes. Like a Hans Moleman hitting a tree. Just boom. Yeah.
I mean, they eventually collar him, and he's been asleep in a barn.
Yes, he falls asleep in a farmer's barn. The farmer contacts the police and is going to get his £1,000 reward. Will that? But the thing is, they set this barn alight. Is that going to help him? Is that going to afford a new barn? I mean, £1,000 is probably quite a lot back then. So
yeah, I think he'd get a barn and a slap up meal and a trip to the theater and
the pictures, the talkies. Yeah, they
ice cream and still enough to ride the trolley all the way up to the pier, and
only with an onion tied to his belt though. They capture him at the end. Thankfully, a nice blizzard. Bookended with a blizzard. This film.
It is, and the snow is obviously his downfall. But yeah, they basically just burn him out,
smoke him out. Yeah,
just set fire to the building he's in, and wait to see some footprints.
And they've surrounded the barn like before, all police all around the barn, so he can't get away. What I like though is the effect when he walks out the barn, he just walks to the police the main police officer, the officer with the chief officer, and you see his footsteps in the snow. And what's quite cool how they did that. I think they had a false floor underneath, where they would pull away wood footprints with fake snow, which would leave the imprint. And then he gets popped.
He does.
He gets popped. Now, the bit after this really annoyed me a little bit when he's in the hospital and the doctor. He's still invisible, and the doctor can give a diagnosis on him as to how his lungs are doing, because apparently he was shot in the lungs, but he's invisible in the bed. How the doctor can see this or know this, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the rules of the invisibility are a little bit hazy. I mean, he smokes earlier and you don't see the smoke.
Yeah, we're given rules at the beginning, aren't we? A little bit like at the beginning when he's at Kemp's, he's talking to Kemp about his rules in the way how like when he eats until the food is digested, you can see the food. Which I quite like that. That somehow the digestion makes the food disappear. Yeah.
But if that's the case, you'd see the stomach acid, presumably. Like, you can't see any of the bodily fluids.
Dirt in his fingernails.
We do have a nice little effect when he dies. We're essentially told that when he dies, the effects of the drug will wear off completely.
Oh, in the hospital, yeah.
And we get a nice little reverse invisibility. It becomes visible again, but it starts with like his skeleton. So we get the skull and then the face imposes. It's a little bit like the opposite of Imhotep's death in The Mummy, where he sort of fades to the skeleton. We get the skeleton coming back to full. And then I was a little bit disappointed for no Swan Lake, to be honest, in this.
I was gonna say the only ones we got it with at the beginning, I believe, was Dracula and the Mummy. I don't think we got it at Frankenstein. Did
Yeah,
we?
no, we didn't. We didn't. But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of expecting it, and for it not to be like a famous piece of classical music, I was kind of like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. Because I mean, I don't know what it is. I didn't think it was anything too special. Certainly nothing recognizable.
No.
But yeah, that was The Invisible Man.
Yeah. Good film. I would recommend it.
I think I'd watch it. I think I'd watch it again.
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would.
Definitely, I think I would watch it again. Just to, like I said, I don't know whether it was maybe me just being a little tired or whatever when I was watching it last night. That I kind of in the second half just drifted a little bit and sort of went, oh, you know, kind of lost the thread of what was going on. So I would watch it again to give it a fair crack of the whip. But yeah, I think going back to our rating from earlier, it's better than The Mummy.
Yes.
But I think Frankenstein's still top of the heap as far as I'm concerned at the minute.
Agreed. Yeah. And yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, I'd recommend all these films if I'm honest. Even though we said Mummy is slow because they're quick. This was an hour and 11, I think.
Yeah, hour 11 minutes. Yeah, they are. They are nice and short, and that is definitely a breath of fresh air. And I was thinking about yesterday. It is nice that they finish. They get straight in. They get straight to the point of what's going on. You get your story, and it's all wrapped up in 60 minutes. They are easy watches. Even the sort of least favorite ones so far. They're not difficult to watch.
No, and I think what's like we said earlier on, how you just get straight into it. That's what is great about these films. There is no waffle. There's no over the top exposition at the beginning. No stories about characters we don't care about. Just into it.
It's straight into it. And I was thinking because it's kind of it's a common thing that's said these days that we've got shorter attention spans.
Yes.
Whether it's social media's fault or whatever it might be. Generally we've got shorter we're told, and I believe it to be true to a certain extent, we've got shorter attention spans. Yet all our cinema is like 2 hours plus of nonsense, filler and guff.
Oh yeah.
So what were people's attention spans like back in the 30s when they were knocking out these films in an hour and going, right, that's it. That's a quick story. It's like the Cliff Notes version. You know what I mean? I mean, just as a comparison, what is the running time of that Invisible Man from 2020?
I'm going to say at least over 2 hours, I'd say. 2.5.
Right, let's have a look.
I haven't looked. I'm just going to assume.
Invisible Man 2020. 2 hours 5. 2 hours 5.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I hand on my new Freddy vs. Jason Hart shirt. I did not know that. I promise you.
You must have seen it. Must have seen it.
I promise you, I did not.
All right, well,
that's
good guess then.
God, I'm amazing.
But that's twice, almost twice the length of the 1933 version.
Twice. Yeah, that's because they've got to make it more in depth. We've got to have every character developed.
I mean, what the other sort of famous. Well, famous. The other sort of more modern Invisible Man was 2000's Hollow Man.
Yeah, he's going to say it. Yeah.
We had to get it in. We had to get it mentioned.
That's a rough film.
And that's an hour and 50.
It's also not that good.
No, I know it's not. There's also a sequel to it, which I didn't realise.
Shut up. There is. What?
Hollow Man 2. Yeah, 2006. It's Christian Slater. And Kevin Bacon.
What? No. I'm not having that.
It's there. It's there. But yeah, they're both clocking in at sort of double the length to do a worse job of telling the same story.
There you go. Seeing as you're so fascinated by it, there you go. The double feature. I had no idea.
If I can only get it on a t-shirt.
Oh, you will be able to. I had no idea. And I'm really...
Hollow Man t-shirt.
We're going to get all the shitty horror film merch, aren't we? I had no idea Hollow Man was a Paul Verhoeven film. And that's really upsetting. Because Paul Verhoeven, folks, if you don't know who Paul Verhoeven is, he has one of the greatest trilogies that's not a trilogy in cinema. Being
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
And Hollow Man.
the joke there was meant to be Showgirls. No, Total Recall, folks.
God, yeah.
Total Recall. Yeah, all in the span of 10 years, those 3 films. And then tacked on at the end, Hollow Man. Yeah. So, oh, wait, what's this? What we got here? Oh, hello. We got some merch. I found oh, that's so shit. That's so shit.
Yes, but it exists. That's the point.
God, it looks awful. It's awful. Oh, you can get it on a mug. You can get it on a sticker. On a hoodie.
TeePublic. It's actually, that's the logo.
Yeah.
That's a promo t-shirt with a logo on it.
Oh no.
And there are some
what are we
t-shirts.
doing?
Vintage 2000 Hollow Man t-shirt on.
Vintage.
I mean,
vintage.
It's out there, mate. It's
classic. Out there. Absolute classic. One other point before we wrap things up, I just found out finally that we talked about at the beginning. It's not the National Rifle Association.
Oh, good. Right. Okay.
I've been looking at this for so long. I've been looking for this. It's National Recovery Administration. National Recovery Administration, NRA, was a prime agency established by US President Roosevelt in 1933, same year. The goal of the administration was to eliminate cutthroat competition by bringing industry, labor, and government together to create codes of fair practices and set precedents.
Okay.
So
it was like a labor union.
Yeah.
The crew, I guess, for the crew of the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes more sense than the National Rifle Association.
Does a little bit, doesn't it?
But it's it's a fair leap to make, given
there is a gun in the film. So
sponsored. So all firearms in this movie is provided by our friends at the NRA.
National Rifle Association. Yeah. Oh dear. Right. Well, that's part 4 then of our Monsters of Universal series.
That is part 4. So what is next?
In the Monsters of Universal.
Yeah. What will be our next one?
That's such a good question.
Thank you.
That's a really, and I'm really glad. Universal film. It's a really good question, and I'm really glad you asked it.
I did. I mean, I'll ask it again if you need to buy a little bit more time while Google search
I don't
loads.
do that. I mean, just because the Blu-ray box set's downstairs, what do you think? You think I don't remember the lineup? That's rude. You're rude.
I know. I'm sure you know.
Oh, obviously, it's The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. The Bride. So in theory, Frankenstein Part 2 we're going into now. I say in theory because I have no idea. I've never seen it. Is this another one you've never seen as well?
I've not seen this one either.
Awesome. So we're going fresh-faced into a brand new installment of the Monsters of Universal. So that will be next time, and that will be because we've pretty much filled up October. That will be coming in November.
Early November, yeah. Keep a weather eye on the horizon for that one.
Yeah, Bride of Frankenstein November. Again, highly recommend. Go check these out. Go check the other Universal Monster films out.
We're halfway through now. We are halfway through now. There's 8, isn't there, total?
Yep, we are halfway through. Well, the
Halfway
8
through.
on the 8 on the box set that we picked to use for this series. We could be here forever if we were going through one by one on their release. But we are not. So yeah.
But we're not.
Again, to reiterate on what's coming up on the channel and the podcast and all that jazz that's related to us. The films of October will be Saw 10 when we get around to seeing it. These are no hard dates apart from the final film of October. So Saw 10, Final Destination 1, Idle Hands. Looking forward to that one. I love that film. You've never seen that, right?
I've not seen it, no. I'm aware of it. I roughly know what it's about, but no, I've never actually watched it.
It goes hand in hand with Final Destination because of Devon Sawyer being in both films. I don't think Seth Green is in Seth Green's not in Final Destination, no, but he's in Idle Hands, and the Offspring are in Idle Hands, so that's great. And we'll be finishing October with Halloween 6, the one you've all been waiting for, The Cult of Thorn.
Halloween 6.
We went from Halloween Kills, Halloween Resurrection to Halloween 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was totally deliberate. 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. We're bringing out the big hitters.
One of Paul Rudd's finest moments. Yeah, it's. I think what I'm going to do though, before watching it, I'm going to go 4, 5, and 6 because I love 4. 4's one of my favorite Halloween films. So just to get because there's a little bit of backstory from 4 and 5 that go into 6, but not much.
3.5 out of 5 audience reviews.
Hey, Texas Chainsaw 4 was a 3.3 out of 10. Okay.
Well, no, that's too high.
How dare you?
Look, this is fine. I think it was my decision, wasn't it, to do?
I think it was.
I believe I said something along the lines of, "Let's do that really shit one. Let's do that really mental one with the cult."
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so that's our October for you guys. Again, I mentioned the social medias, Twitter and Instagram, _Dreadcast, and I want to start the TikTok soon, so stay tuned to those social medias for that. We'll see what I can do with that. And you can also find this podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, Podbean. Yes, that's it. All by searching the Dreadcast and all our past episodes and past content.
And there's always the mailbag. If you want us to drop us an email, drop us a line via thedreadcastpod@gmail.com.
What's that?
Thedreadcastpod@gmail.com.
With nothing new this week. No spam.
Getting that word out there. Maybe one day we'll get some more messages because we always want to hear from you guys. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz.
Actually, one thing I haven't checked, just quickly, I haven't checked the actual YouTube channel to see how we're doing. Any more comments on there? No new comments on there, but we are up to 357 subscribers, so that's awesome. So thank you everyone for that.
Yeah, thank you.
If you're still
everyone.
listening,
that is brilliant.
And go back, check out our last week's episode, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 Next Generation. Listen to how batshit crazy that film is, and yeah, I think that's it.
Until next time, guys. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.